Okay, so try to maintain your ground. Okay, sit. Sit.
Stop, Oakley. Sit.
I'm going to put mine in motion and just watch if there's a prey-driven behavior that starts. And it's the follow, right? Come on. Sit. Sit. So I think you'll see, like when I mentioned disinterest, she could care less.
Yeah.
Right? If there's birds in the trees, that's what she's looking at.
Yeah.
She could care less. So it's a good way to start to get an idea of, does certain behavior from another dog provoke behavior from yours?
Right.
Right? So being indifferent, come on. That's good. Sit. Good. So a little anxiety. Certainly not trying to eat her necessarily, right? But this is how it goes, right? Dogs don't have to be the best of friends. They have to coexist, and to be indifferent and coexisting is socializing, right? Does that make sense? So if you have your own dogs in the house and they play together, that's great. But if you were walking this path regularly for exercise, and every time you got close to another dog, this one was lunging towards another one,
Right.
it would be kind of like two people walking down the sidewalk and jumping out in front of somebody and having to shake hands, and it's like it's a little bit, it's a little much, right? So through the course, we want to get all the wiggles out, greeting other dogs and people like that. Right, it's a little invasive.
Yeah.
It's not dangerous necessarily. However, and I'll say this, and you watch, she'll track my dog. Okay. So not a big issue, but certainly like when you walked up initially, sit. When you walked up initially, you didn't stand 6 inches from me and stick your hand in my face and say hello. No, from here you put your hand out and say, hey, good to meet you.
Yeah.
And then it was almost like waiting to receive another person with their hand out.
Right.
Right? Whereas she doesn't have her hand out, but this one is invasive, right, and kind of pushy about it.
Yeah.
But you mentioned too, she's pushy at home, right? She's pushy, like manipulative, or wants to get her way.
Yeah, defiant. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I refer to her as defiant, but yeah, she
Yeah.
does.
Yeah,
she wants
she'll
to
go
do
and like
something.
paw at you.
Yeah.
She wants to be pet. Yeah.
So we refer to that as kind of pushy or manipulative. Defiant, I think, would be you try to stop a behavior and she says, no, I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah,
So
I
when
use
you...
it- I use it for a lot of things. So like when I try to get her in her crate and now she won't go if we're cooking.
Yeah.
Every other country will go in her crate.
Yeah.
But I refer
So
to
that's
that.
defiance for sure, yeah. The pushy part is like jumping and lunging and saying, hey, who are you? Yeah. So, and then the pawing kind of stuff to get attention, that's pushy.
Yeah.
So we want to give her something else to do. And through the course of training, right, we're going to, when she becomes pushy like that, we're going to send her to place. You can call it bed, you can call it whatever you want, but we're going to establish that you can leave me and go somewhere that's comfortable, that you can enjoy. You don't have to be with me all the time.
Right.
As a matter of fact, when you start that nonsense, I got stuff to do, right? In particular, when you have small kids or the elderly, pawing is a real problem.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean biting is worse, but pawing can be a problem.
Yeah.
No, it does. I mean, she's
Yeah.
scratched my mom's leg the last 2 weeks ago, and it got down. It was bleeding, but
Yeah.
not because she's trying to hurt her. Just she's calling for attention.
Yeah. So this is through the course. We're going to look at what behavior do you like. We're going to reinforce it. We're going to reinforce it with a comfortable sensation. Comfortable sensation can be food. If you look at dogs always try to better the situation, it can be a dog that's hungry, seeks food, thirsty, seeks water, hot, seeks shade. Like, it doesn't have to be about hitting or kicking, right? So, but trapping food in your hand and saying, I'm not going to give it to you until you complete something, that's punishment, actually.
Right. Right.
because I'm not going to give you what you like.
Right.
Okay? You can punish behavior when she's pushy if you simply deny what she wants.
Okay.
That's punishment too. But the reinforcement, do you like it? You reinforce it. You don't always have to give her something special, but the absence of punishment is reinforcement.
Okay.
Okay? When I say the word punishment, and I know we talked before, but when I say the word punishment, what's the first thing you think of?
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
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 and I'm very much against that.
Yeah. Yeah. That is punishment, but it's not punishment that we teach.
Yeah.
That's too much.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, I know a lot of people, especially down south up in the north, will say the only way to get a dog to listen is to hit them. And I think that's ignorant.
So, if you use startle or surprise, okay, think about since he's been 4 or 5 years old, my son will sneak up on me in the house. And whether I'm changing clothes or whatever, he can just touch me with the tip of his finger and I fly through the ceiling.
Uh-huh.
If he were screaming throughout the whole house, I'm coming to find you, and I'm going to, it's not a startle.
Right.
Okay? So if you use surprise, you can use less force.
Okay.
If you ever see me use my foot to interrupt behavior, interruption's punishment. It's through that little startle, okay? But I can literally use just the tip of my toe.
Right.
The reason I would use my foot is because if I reach down to do this, then I have to stand back up so that she doesn't know it came from me.
Okay.
All right? So when you look at remote collars, all I have to do is push the button, okay? So from here, sit. Good. I didn't do it.
Uh-huh.
Now, I could go even further and not even hold this, right? Because she may anticipate because I have it in my hand. So we tuck it away real quickly.
I do have a question about the.
Yeah.
So I had a collar. We actually have one over too, but of course they're going to be using yours. But we had one for my last dog because he used to run away a lot.
Yeah.
And he would only behave if he had it on.
Yeah. So it's a good question. Think about this, and there's all these analogies I can try to share with you. But you wear shoes because if you step on something, it doesn't hurt, right? You have car insurance because if something happens, you're covered. If the dog's out and it's running loose, or it's pawing at your mother or something else, right? You have it in case you need it.
But I guess my question is, do I always need to have it on?
You're going to make that decision. Yep. Because if you're in a particular situation or environment where you say, I don't know how she's going to do, and I want to make sure that she behaves well, then yeah, take it. But I get in the habit of always wearing my seatbelt. Right? So it's one of those things where as soon as I get all of her stuff out, she's excited because she knows we're getting ready to do something.
Right.
Okay? If you look at the compliance stage, and that's in your lesson plan, to where only if they don't do something do you push the button. You're nowhere near close to that. But she's 5 and she's been on an e-collar for 4.5 years or something, and I could say, sit, and I don't have to do anything, right? But if she didn't, then I would push the button. So that's compliance stage. But because I use it so often at such a low level, she understands if I complete something or I change my behavior, the collar turns off.
Right.
Okay? Additionally, I taught her like the recall. Okay? Sit. I'll give continuous leash pressure, a taut leash, until it's completed. Okay, and I'll show you. Come. Being here with me makes it nice and loose. Okay, so through repetition like that, you're going to get to that stage. Okay, you're going to get to the point where she's not pulling you down the sidewalk.
Right. Yeah.
Right, she's walking with you.
Yeah.
So let me put her up, and then we'll get started, get you fitted, and really get rolling. What we want to curb is all of that drifting and wandering and pulling, and then we're going to talk about structure. Okay, the rules during the walk: there's no sniffing, no marking, no barking, no lunging, no biting, and it goes in that order. You may see a behavior jump really quickly when you have a very reactive dog, but even for females, because she marked a couple times, and it's a matter of, this is my territory. Well, it's not really. And
Determine the difference though between marking and just using going through that technique.
so let's say the next time you get here, when you arrive, we have a video on this too, but we'll help you, okay? But you'll be able to practice when you get her out of the car, okay? When you open the door, you become the new door. You're the barrier. And you get all of her equipment situated, you get the prong collar likely already be on, but leash attached to prong collar, and when she relaxes and you kind of see it through her body instead of looking around you, she's kind of submitted to the idea of, well, I guess we'll go when Dad's ready or Mom's ready.
Right.
And that's when you get her out. Now from the car to say 100 feet away, you find a tree, you find a bush, you find a grassy area, that's where she empties. Emptying is different than marking. Okay, so get it all out. You can switch from the prong collar to a standard collar and let her pull you because you're letting her be a dog.
Right.
Okay, and we'll go through all
Yeah,
that.
that was my question in response to what you said. Like the sniffing, it's like
When she's empty,
never sniffing.
a few minutes into letting her explore, she's empty. You go back to prong collar, no nonsense.